7 gems of rock and fire rise from the blue of the Tyrrhenian Sea, shaped by the power of volcanoes and winds and defined by the proud character of their people. Here, the scent of the sea intertwines with the stories of fishermen and the generosity of a land that evokes the aroma of Malvasia wine and the long tradition of hospitality. The first to emerge from the sea about 500,000 years ago were Panarea, Filicudi and Alicudi. Lipari and Salina followed between 200 and 100,000 years ago, while Vulcano and Stromboli developed more recently. Humans arrived around 7,000 years ago.
What you see here in layers is the city that emerged in the Neolithic period. Because on Lipari, Neolithic man found obsidian, the sharpest material in nature before the advent of iron.
Obsidian conquered half the Mediterranean. People from the Italian mainland, southern France, and even the Dalmatian coast arrived by every means of water transport to bring goods to trade for the precious volcanic glass.
And gradually the layers lead up to the Greek city. There we have Aeolus's Bothros, which was a votive well. Where churches stand today, there were once the temples of the Greek necropolis.
The Greek peoples were already familiar with the islands during the Mycenaean period, but most of the artifacts in Lipari's extensive archaeological museum date from the period after the 6th century before Christ, when Greek colonists from Cnidus and Rhodes repopulated the archipelago. They were Dorians, descendant of the Spartans, and they organized a formidable military fleet to defend themselves against Etruscan pirates, but above all, they linked the islands to the myth of Aeolus, the god of the winds, with whom those living on the islands must cyclically and inevitably contend. This slide is saying you have no idea what it's like here to someone on the phone, so... We have left Lipari and we are docking at...
Lipari.
Why?
Strong wind, because the weather won't allow us to dock.
After the Greeks, the islands were occupied by the Romans, the Byzantines, then the Arabs and the Normans. In 1544, the Ottoman pirate Barbarossa conquered Lipari and deported almost the entire population. The Aeolian Islands recovered thanks to immigration from Sicily and Campania and their production of Malvasia wine and capers, as well as the extraction of Pumice, the obsidian's fraternal twin.
At eruption temperatures around 1000 degrees, the lava forms obsidian because the gases in the obsidian are compressed. Instead, it forms pumice at temperatures over 2000 degrees because the gases in the pumice are expanded.
Pumice is found in the northeastern part of Lipari. Almost 22% of the island's land area consists of this mineral. It has been mined for years. These are the old mining facilities.
Just like in Roman times, the islands were used as a place of confinement during the Second World War.
In 1940, when Italy entered the war, these pavilions were used as a concentration camp for Italian Jews and for citizens captured on the Italian Eastern Front, that is, Croats, Serbs, and Slovenians.
It was 2 films shot and released simultaneously between 1949 and 1950, Vulcano starring Anna Magnani and Stromboli starring Ingrid Bergman, that put the islands on the world map. The tourism industry, which grew subsequently, finally stopped the emigration that had taken away a third of the island's population since the late 19th century. And today,
Here, however, people get married, start families, carry on with their lives even in winter, stay here to work, and their children go to school here.
We'll build a wonderful life together.
Here in Lipari.
Right here in Lipari.
I was thinking of going to university in Messina and then coming back here to work in Lipari, because even though it has its challenges, it offers plenty of opportunities for a peaceful life and a sense of well-being.
Silvia Carbone is half Liparese. She grew up in Siena, Tuscany, and decided to settle in Lipari after inheriting an old pumice processing warehouse, which she later converted into a boutique hotel.
Lipari is a place where we're all reinventing ourselves a bit. There's a whole host of initiatives taking place, and that makes it a very vibrant place. For one thing, a huge number of people has been coming, especially since COVID, and they've decided to stay. Also, there are a lot of young people who moved down here, stayed, and have taken up farming.
The family tradition used to be growing wheat. Then it stopped for many reasons. About 7 years ago, we took 20 ears of this margarito wheat that my grandfather kept in a decorative jar in the kitchen.
Però 1, 2, 3, una passa all'altra, 1, 2, 3, una passa all'altra. C'erano I figli.
Those 20 ears of wheat have now become 10 hectares of land. We make flour and pasta from them. And today, we're also presenting beer made from wheat grown on Lipari.
We are reclaiming the old land of our grandparents and ancestors, which had been partly abandoned, and we are once again growing capers. From harvesting the capers to processing and packaging, everything takes place on our islands. We are also giving many young people the opportunity to stay here in the area, to farm, produce, and generate income and jobs.
Among the recent arrivals in the Aeolian Islands is an entrepreneur from Bergamo who was captivated by the beauty of the islands and is behind an ambitious project to restore the almost abandoned vineyards.
Right from the start, we have focused on producing wines centered around the 2 native grape varieties, namely Malvasia delle Lipari and Corinto Nero. As for the construction of the winery, we used an earth embankment to evoke the most important feature of these islands, which are, in fact, of volcanic origin.
Across the entire Aeolian archipelago, the permanent population is under 16,000 people. During the summer, however, this number rises to 100,000 thanks to accommodation options ranging from family-run guest houses to luxury experiences. Many businesses have joined the Brand Eolie initiative, created specifically to promote a responsible tourism, especially since the islands have been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2000.
When you actually set foot on the Aeolian Islands, you immediately realize you're in a unique environment. That's why Brand Eolie was created, to enhance and protect the Aeolian environment and to guide tourists towards a holiday that is as sustainable as possible, with a greater awareness of what responsible tourism entails.
Tourism accounts for around 90% of the archipelago's total revenue. Therefore, shipping companies, tour operators, wineries, tourist guide associations, farms, and artisans are also part of the Brand Eolie. These also include restaurateurs who focus on promoting low-value fish and traditional cuisine.
I've spent just 56 years in the kitchen. I'm now 76. These days, I spend my time organizing these evenings, trying to showcase the region to the full. And I hope to leave something behind for these young people.
Preserving and passing on the historical legacy of the Seven Sisters is also the mission of the musicians of the Pantarei folk band and the Cantori Popolari delle Isole Eolie, a folk singers group. Through them, the ancient Aeolian melodies, created over centuries by a resilient and passionate people, continue to live on and captivate the world. As a UNESCO site, the Aeolian Islands no longer have any pumice quarries as they were closed to preserve the landscape. However, on these rocks, steeped in thousands of years of history, you will find great beauty, warm hospitality, excellent food, and amazing excursions. You can even roll around in the mud, and you will also meet many colorful characters.
Allora signora, c'è alla lunga locale, alla lunga freschissima locale, fare tutti i modi, alla griglia, al forno, può fare la tagliata di tonno, poi c'è il pesce spada a trance freschissimo pure, i totani freschissimi, c'è lo spada per involtini, anche a dadini per fare tartare, no? Il sugo, come vuole. Questo è il pesce locale, in dialetto si chiama ciaula, in italiano sarebbe la menola, si fa fritto con la cipollata, la morte sua è poi buonissima. Spada tota di ciaule!
Life here, it's good.
When I look at Lipari's history, I see a great deal of sacrifice. But at the same time, we have made extraordinary contributions to the rest of the Mediterranean.
torno, maestà. Colpisce, corre, fa il torno, maestà.